we want to determine the slope of the line graphed here in blue. There's a couple ways of doing this. Remember, the slope is the ratio of the vertical change to horizontal change of a line, which can be expressed as the rise over the run or the change in y with respect to the change of x. So if we can identify 2 points on this line that have integer coordinates, we can analyze the line to determine the vertical and horizontal change. So for example, this point here would have coordinates 0, 4, and this point here would have coordinates 2, 1. So if we think about the vertical and horizontal change moving from this point to this point, we should be able to recognize that we'd have to move down 3 units and right 2 units to end up at this point. And since we moved down 3 units, the vertical change is -3, and the horizontal change, because we moved right, is +2. So the slope, which is the ratio of the vertical change to horizontal change, would be -3/2. Or if we wanted to, we could move this negative out in front of the fraction and express the slope as just -3/2. This form is a little more common, but it really doesn't matter whether the negative sign is in the numerator, denominator, or out front of the fraction. The other option is, since we found the coordinates of 2 points on the line, we could just use this slope formula here, where we determine the difference in the y-coordinates over the difference in the x-coordinates. So let's go ahead and show that as well. Let's go ahead and call these the 1's. So we'll call this x sub 1, y sub 1, and we'll call these the 2's, so this will be x sub 2 and y sub 2. So now using the slope formula, we would have y sub 2 minus y sub 1, that's going to be 1 minus 4 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, that's 2 minus 0. And we get the same slope, this would be -3/2, or if we want, just -3/2. So regardless of which method we use, of course the slope is going to be the same. And the last thing to notice is that since the slope is negative, this line is sloped downward from left to right, as we see here. And this is always true when the slope is negative. Okay, I hope you found this helpful.